I have set up my drawing and I am prepared to extrude the interior walls. I made some minor changes to the layer names. I was not comfortable with the 3D wall layers not being next to each other, so I had to make sure that the text was exact, and I had 3D followed by the dash, wall, and then the dash. I have also turned on the XREFs that I need. If they were unloaded, I have reloaded them. And what I have decided to do is to turn off the layer for the interior walls, only because I am going to be working within the walls and I really would rather not see them get in the way of the model. You may have applied some of these tools differently and you may have a different approach at this point, and I encourage you to have different approaches, not necessarily do exactly as what is being shown on the screen. I will type BO for boundary. I will pick points and I will attempt to find all of the interior points. Point is directly on object. I have to be very careful trying to pick between the lines. It can be tricky. What I should be doing is selecting each one individually by zooming in, but I am trying to take care of everything at once. I will now enter, creating 10 polylines. I'm going to extrude using WP for window poly, turning ortho off, entering, specifying the height. I'm not exactly sure, so I'm going to exceed the height. I'll go with 14 feet at this point. And now using the elevation, I'm going to select slice. I've decided to pick them individually since there are only 10. Entering and using the XY plane as the slicing plane. Typing XY, and I know that this line represents the top of the second floor, so I will select that point. Instead of keeping both sides, I'm going to pick a point closest to the ground, and that brings all of the walls down. What I will do next is union them all, and again, they do not have to be touching in order to be unioned. And then I can continue and I can place them on the interior wall layer and then try to find the proper angle to work with while creating the interior model. I'd like to go back for just a second, and I have unioned these. If you decide that you do not want them unioned, you can attempt to use the separate command by selecting separate, selecting the solids. I then enter after selecting one, and when I pick it, it indicates that this one is now separated from that one, and so on. Some of them may not be able to separate, only because when they are placed together, there are no points where AutoCAD can detect that they will be possible to separate. So at that point you would need to apply the slice command. So it is a very good command to use, but again, if you are unioning two 3D solid objects that have very unique shapes and they are touching, AutoCAD will not know how to separate them in the future. With walls, it is very easy. This was isolated, so AutoCAD was able to detect an easy method of separation.